Good evening to my now 16 subscribers. We've doubled since last month, and due to the laws of exponential growth, if we continue to double month on month, in 5 years I'll have about 42 quintillion subscribers. I don't know if that'll check out quite. Anyway, I digress. So I'm on my way to a place called the Hermitage. I had a video idea that I wanted to do called Quiet Spots in Edinburgh. Then I thought, well, could I make a whole video at the Hermitage? I concluded the answer was yes, but it could be incredibly boring. There's not a huge amount to do, and my videography skills aren't such that, you know, I can fill it with stuff to make it seem more interesting. Maybe I will be able to. So either two things are going to happen. One, I film maybe 5-6 minutes of actual content that can go in a video, and I put it together with my other quiet spots in Edinburgh that I've thought about. Possibility two, I try and do a slightly longer video around the Hermitage, which I think will be quite hard the more I think about it. And then I do the same thing at the other quiet spots, and then I piece them into one mega video. Now, I've not got people to disappoint with my content. At this point in time, it's all just for me. So, regardless of what I do, it's going to be a good outcome. That's me just heading there now. There's another factor in place in all this, and it's that I don't drive. I got money to start my driving lessons when I was about 17, but in true young Scotsman tradition, I spent it on a few mad weekends with my pals. So I'm basically racking my brain to think of places that I can walk to, that I can film video content. And I have to say, making these videos and the ideas that I have are really pushing me to try and get my driving done. So I'll come back when we're entering the Hermitage. So that's me just coming into the Hermitage now. I'll try and describe it as best I can. So it's just near Cameron Toll in Edinburgh, up a street called Blackford Glen Road. And basically it's a beautiful little woodland forest in the middle of Edinburgh. If you didn't know it was here, you know, it's not like well advertised. It's somewhere that you would probably have to be told, or if you go on websites where it tells you nice trails to walk, I'm sure it'll come up on them. There's a couple of kind of places of interest here that I'll try and visit on the way. As I'm walking up here, I'm thinking how bizarre it is to have the juxtaposition of fields there, and then behind me there's a golf course, and then it's just Edinburgh City. If you were just kicking about here, you would never ever think that you're slap bang in the middle of Scotland's capital city. I used to come here a lot when I was little. We would race sticks. So I'm going to experiment. I've got an idea for a little video of me doing that. I'm going to try and video myself from a distance. I don't know. It works out in my head. We'll see if it works out in practice. So we'll come back once I'm filming that, because the little bridge is just up the road. So I'll demonstrate a stick boat racing competition. I used to come and do this with my dad and my uncle and my granny as often as possible, and it was one of the most exciting things ever. We'll see if I'm able to relive that excitement. The key is getting a good angle so that it actually goes from one side to the other. Now you race to the other side and you go and check it. Well, I'll tell you what, it wasn't as fun as I remember it being, but I'm on my own, I'm a grown man, and for the life of me, I could not get a stick to go under the bridge and out the other side. Okay, so a cool piece of history that I have just learnt, despite being here so many times, is that some of the rock faces here gave conclusive proof of Edinburgh's volcanic past and being shaped by glaciers. I think I know where the rocks mentioned in this little inscription are, so I'll try and get a little video of them as well. Have I potentially found a better bridge for doing stick boat racing? I think I have, so we'll test it out. Get ready, because this is pretty exhilarating stuff. And that'll be speeding along, positively speeding along the waterway, and then hopefully, with a little bit of luck, a bit of wind and some current, Hey, it came out the other side. Now that is the magic that I remember. So behind me to the left there is Agassiz rock, Agassiz, not sure how to pronounce it, but the rock that we've seen on that plaque. As you can see to my right there is people who are actually rock climbing it just now. I think it's like a certified bit because every time I'm here there tends to be people rock climbing it. It's not a long walk this by any means. I'm just sitting at a little bench. I say little bench because if you zoom down, it's about a hand width. It's about a hand width from the ground. It's not a very long walk this, to be perfectly honest. It only takes maybe 35, 40 minutes. But there is little things you can do. You know, you can do the boat races as much as I was joking about it. It's a nice thing to do, especially if you're with children or something like that. Little bits of the river you can play in. I kind of wish I'd brought my swimming stuff, to be honest, because I would have just went and sat in it for a bit and cooled down. It's an absolute scorching day. So talking about how beautiful and tranquil it is here, just look behind me. You've got this, it looks like something out of Lord of the Rings, and it's slap bang in the middle of Edinburgh. Really, really quite brilliant. And it's quiet as well, bizarrely. You would think on a night like this it would be heaving, but there's barely anybody here. Absolutely magnificent, man. You know what's ridiculous? As I was thinking about making a video, quiet spots in Edinburgh, the thought occurred to me, oh no, but what if loads of people see it and then they don't become quiet spots? And then obviously I remembered, I think my last video had 80 views. It's hardly like front page news story. So I probably don't need to really worry much about the places that a video getting overcrowded because nobody watches my videos to find out. Here's something you don't see every day, a medieval fridge freezer from 1667, built on the orders of King Charles II's gardener. Goodness me. Ice houses were built in many different shapes. The best, however, were considered to be egg-shaped with narrow ends pointing downwards. This meant that ice began to melt, the dense mass would slide down into the narrower end, picking it tighter and slowing the melting process. Bloody hell, that's clever. Really clever. I did always wonder how they kept their food fresh. This can't have been standard though. I don't imagine many peasants were kicking about with a big ice freezer dug into the hill behind their house. But definitely very cool. So the real reason this is one of my favourite quiet spots in Edinburgh is actually because of the Hermitage house behind us. It's an absolutely beautiful kind of Georgian manor house. When I'm sitting and relaxing, I like to sit around nice things. I like history, I like art. And when I'm doing nothing, I'd rather do nothing with something beautiful to look at. So that's why I like sitting in these gardens, old manor houses, or even church gardens. I find it relaxing and I get to look at some beautiful architecture and appreciate my surroundings. I'm looking up some facts about Hermitage House just now, and our man Louis Agassiz keeps popping up. He seems to be the most famous guy who's ever came here. I've never heard of him. I suppose I'm not a big into my geology, but I'm seeing Louis Agassiz's name everywhere. Trying to look up some more facts about it. Not a huge amount. A John Skelton lived here. Anyone heard of John Skelton? Essayist, historian. Friends with Robert Louis Stevenson. I don't know if that counts really, does it? Just being friends with someone. Anyway, nowadays it's just a visitor centre, and it's got this beautiful little picnic area around about it as well. You can come and have a little picnic with your friends. I'm pretty sure they let you have barbecues. Undoubtedly, well, one of the nicest quiet places in Edinburgh. You can just peacefully sit and meditate and think, do a bit of work on your laptop if you wanted. I'm all about this, man. So that's me actually at the end of the Hermitage now. Like I said, it's not a long walk, but you can make it a day out because there's so many different spots to sit and relax and chill. Usually I would come and get a little coffee or a beverage there. Unfortunately, it's closed though today. So this was my number one quiet spot. not in order of how good it is, but it's just the first one I've happened to go to. Like I said, I've got 4 more in my brain. I'm not going to spoil it. not that anyone's going to be weighted with bated breath, but I'm not going to spoil it. And those will be my next videos, little quiet spots where you can come, read the book, chill with your family. I think those kind of spaces are really important, especially when you live in a busy city like Edinburgh. So yeah, stay tuned for more, like and subscribe.